I think it's just clicking at the right time in terms of the actual goal scoring. As I was mentioning to some of our staff and our players and fans, we've had that sort of offensive capability all season. We've had some dominant possession. We've had some good play. We've had some creativity. We just haven't had the goal scoring to go along with it. So you look at a goal, a game that's decided by a goal, 2-1, 1-0, and it looks like, oh wow, these guys can't put it together. But we kind of miss all the brilliant things that these guys are actually doing on the field. So they have been playing pretty well. Just the goal scoring has been lacking, and finally they sort of put their heads together and decided that they wanted to put the ball in the back of the net. It's really not more complicated than that. They just sort of decided that they'd hit every other part of the field, so they're going to finally put the ball in the back of the net.
Rock Valley College is your opponent to start in the quarterfinals. You guys have faced them twice. Speaking of one-goal games, both of those games have been one-goal games. But yet, I know that, I guess in the second game, you guys actually had the shooting edge on them. You outshot them in the second game.
Correct.
From what you've seen, obviously now through 2 games, what kind of matchup do you expect, and how do you maybe make minor tweaks, adjustments to, I guess, what went right in the first game, what went wrong in the second game?
Right. Well, we came away with the win in the first game, but we made some tweaks because we thought that we didn't have a good display. The second game, we had a somewhat better display overall, but didn't have the win, and we definitely didn't score the goals that we needed to score with the shooting advantage. So the third game, I think, is just trying to carry the momentum that we've had from our last couple of matches where we've been playing well going into this match, and if we can keep that momentum going, we should have a better showing. They're definitely a very organized team, very disciplined team. They got a great coach who's got his team playing the right way. They have a great team spirit, so we understand that going in, that we'll have to have a good collective spirit and try to go in there and impose our will upon them. We understand that we've, again, got to score, got to put the ball in the back of the net. That's been the missing piece of the puzzle all season. So it really doesn't, our game plan doesn't really deviate from what it's been all season, or certainly these last few games, which is just finish the job. That's sort of been the mantra that we've been repeating, and simplicity is the key. So we just kind of repeat it over and over: do your job, finish the job, get the job done. So if the guys go into the game with that sort of mind state, we should, be well equipped.
What have you been preaching to your guys? More so than anything prior to maybe a Milwaukee game, just this tail end of the season, really?
Tail end of the season, honestly, we've been preaching for them to have fun. We had some games where we didn't have a lot of fun out there. We worked hard. We actually got some wins, but the guys didn't feel good about the way they played. They didn't feel good leaving the field, even though they'd gotten a victory. And I said, no matter how many wins we get, it won't be worth it if nobody's having fun. We could win the national championship, and if the guys are all gloom and doom, then it's really not worth it. We'd much rather take the season that we have and go out on a high note and have the guys bond with each other, have the guys feel good. And I think just having them loosen up a little bit and not put so much pressure on themselves and just go out there and play like they're just playing around with their friends at practice or whatnot has gotten them just to play a little bit more naturally. So what we've tried to preach is actually we, the coaching staff, are going to take a little bit of a step back and allow the players to really dictate what they want out of this season. So if they want wins, they got to go out and get wins, and they know that they have to do it as a collective, and we'll be there to support them, win, lose, or draw.
Yeah, speaking of that, I was just going to ask you, that was going to be my next question, is how much do you as a coaching staff, you and Coach Schwartz, right,
Mm-hmm.
How much do you guys kind of take that step back and let, your captains, your sophomores, guys like Parvis, kind of do some of the talking, some of the hyping, some of the motivating?
We've decided, these last few games, as I said, to really allow them to take ownership of it. We definitely want so much for this program to be successful. We want all the programs in the school to be successful, and Coach Schwartz and I are very dedicated individuals. So when we get the opportunity to coach at this level, we put everything we've got into it. And what we realized was that we were putting so much into it that maybe the players' voices were getting lost. And we've helped them to rediscover that voice by just stepping back. And it's been actually amazing to watch them take ownership of their season and really start to dictate where this team is going to go. So we've agreed, amongst ourselves that, hey, we've given them all the tools at this point, and now they've got to go out and build a house, or whatever other metaphor you want to use. But they've got to put those tools into use in practices and in games, because it really is up to them in that respect. So we're not, putting the onus on them where we say, oh, if you win or lose, it's all on you, it's your fault. But we're really saying, hey, you tell us what it is that you want, and we'll facilitate that environment. So we've definitely taken a step back and allowed them to kind of push each other a little bit, sophomores and freshmen included. So we've got some leaders in both classes, which is nice, and we've got some unexpected leaders. And really, the Milwaukee game typified what we've wanted out of this season, which is everyone contributing. We had 7 goals, we had 7 different goal scorers. So that's what we've been looking for, is not the individual brilliance of one player leading the team, but really the team as a collective getting the job done when they needed to.
Finally, what's this team doing best right now at this point in the season? And kind of on the back end of that question, what's it going to take in your mind for this team to have a successful little string of wins here, a little run maybe that you guys didn't experience come playoffs last season?
Right. What they're doing best, again, I go back to the fun, having fun, which is allowing them to play a little bit looser, a little bit more composed, which is allowing them to see the field more clearly, more fully, and then also just recognize when they do have more time, when they do have more space, and when they don't. So better decision making, I think, is coming from them just feeling a little less pressure and a little bit more energized when they're out there on the field. So as a team, they're sort of picking each other up, communicating a whole lot better. They're really helping each other out on the field, coaching each other really on the field, I would say. So all that kind of comes out of them taking that ownership. So they've been doing that well. So if they can do that in these next couple of games, they should get the results that they want, because they've shown that they're capable of beating anybody in the conference. They're capable of putting together some great performances against D3 NCAA schools, D1 and JCAA schools. So they're currently, they're definitely capable of doing well against anybody we face, but it really is going to come down to that consistency and making sure they keep their communication up.